This is the Nomestia podcast, where we return to home as a paste. You are welcome here.
This is the Nomestia podcast. Actually, no, Paloma already says that.
No, we've got that.
Okay. What I want to say is that if you do listen to the Nomestia podcast, I'm still waiting for a review. I think what people do, is that they think that like Sarah down the road who listens is going to do it. But I'm
not going to bother.
Yeah, but I'm saying that if
that attitude meant that Brexit happened.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, that is true.
Leave the review. Don't be a Brexiteer. I mean, it's a bit of a leap, isn't it?
No, I know, but someone might be listening that who did vote Brexit and might find that offensive. Well, basically, it'd be just good if you could leave a review. Even if you just left 5-star, it takes 2 seconds if you're listening in Spotify or on Apple. Some people have said they listened on YouTube, which would mean an extra step of going on to Spotify or Apple Podcasts, which I totally get. But you could like the video and leave a comment. That would help. And then the other thing is it's on Substack. So if you join our Substack, because I've seen, this is the thing, I think people don't think that I see the stats, because I do that on my other business account. I find it hilarious because I think this, what we say is like, there's a lot of people that will click on things, but then because we're so busy, we don't necessarily go further than that. But I just want to do a shout out to the fact that the first podcast that we released had 100 downloads in its first week with a brand new podcast, very few followers on Instagram. And if you don't know much about podcast stats, that's actually incredibly huge.
I'll definitely take that, yeah.
100, so, yeah, because that basically puts you in the top 25% of all podcasts. Because now there's like obviously a lot of podcasts. So because of my other podcast, I know the kind of stats that we're looking at. And so if 100 people did that, but we only have 22 subscribers currently on Nomestia Substack, then my question is, where did those 100 people come from? And also, our next one continued to do well. So we've had 30 downloads within the first 2 days, which is really good.
That's cool.
Yeah. So those people, no one's left a review though.
Ooh, please leave a review.
So please, can you do that? Because I really want to make this a thing, because I actually really enjoy having to just do this.
Genuinely, it's like the first thing that I've done probably in my life. Going back to the schooling thing, probably in my life that's actually brought me a bit of a spark. Yeah,
you really enjoy the editing. I enjoy just you setting it up and me sitting down. Also,
my absolute hero is Adam Buxton, who is the OG, like one of the OGs, certainly in the UK, of podcasting. So anything that I've got a Brompton, we've got a Brompton.
Yeah, I've got that.
He's got a Brompton.
Yeah.
I'm sort of a short, leery, hairy man. So
you take
I'm
your dog for a walk.
And I take my dog for a walk.
But you don't
We've got a dog.
You don't do the intro with the dog walk.
No.
That's copying though, isn't it? And you haven't got celebs on.
No.
But you are.
Soon.
But it could be.
Soon.
There was a really good van that came in, wasn't there, in this car park, and they had 70,000 followers, and I was like, maybe and then they just drove out. Yeah. I was well excited. I was like, I could chat to them. No.
That's what Naomi wants to do. She wants to hook a big Instagrammer fish or a big YouTuber fish to try and get on the podcast.
Yeah.
Just to, to try and get the podcast out a bit to a few more people.
That's what people do anyway. That's what people do. But but then I went on their YouTube and they had 240,000, and that van was from Brazil. So they would have had a lot of shit to share. And they went to Scotland. They were a good one. Yeah. Anyway, they drove straight back out. I was like, what's wrong with this podcast? Anyway, where are we recording?
Where are we? It's a good question. So last time we were on our way to the coast, but now we are at the coast, and we are in a very cool surfer town.
Yeah, don't tell them where we're parked up though.
Okay.
Because I don't want lots of people knowing about this.
Yeah, it's like an inside secret, isn't it?
Yeah, you'll have to find it yourself.
Yeah, but we're in Tagazu.
Yeah.
Which could not be more different to where we've been. So we've done the Atlas Mountains, we've done like the desert, which is like very sort of strong local Moroccan vibe. But now we've hit a surf town. There's much more of a mix of people. There's a much younger vibe, which I'm quite into, having sort of been around all the motorhome sites. But yeah, we're really happy to be here. We're in a really cool park up, and we're overlooking the sea. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool, but it is very Margate on the sea. So basically left Margate to come to Margate.
Yes.
In Morocco.
Bit of a,
like the same vibe of people have come here because in Margate when the summer would hit and those vibe of Londoners would come.
Yeah.
Hence why they call Margate Shoreditch on the sea.
Yeah.
is like that here.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a bit much for me sometimes. But, you know, I'm having to I am in that uncomfortable position where it's like, this is Morocco. Yes, I'm in Morocco in my van and it's very cool. But it doesn't feel, it's not Africa. But then Morocco is not true. To me, I mean, it's Africa. And I love it when, like, we got into the desert and some of them, you know, some of the Berber men would be like, this is Africa, and like have that vibe, which is the vibe I love so much. But then you come here and it's you know, Western.
Yeah.
So it's tough for me because I want to show the children Africa, but I haven't really shown them all of what I think. Anyway.
We're enjoying the weather. We're
It's
enjoying
really
the beach.
nice sun. I'm having to sit with the fact that we've done a big adventure that already.
Yes.
You know?
No, that's the thing. I think if you'd come here and then, I think if we'd done it the other way around,
Yeah,
I think
true.
it would have been sort of a bit
Which
more
we were going to do though.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
we were going to do if the weather. But, you know, we're just soaking up the cool surf culture here. Naomi's been having some lessons. She's got a lesson booked for today.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting into that.
All right, what's the chat today then?
Wow, we left it on a bit of a cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger, right, yeah. Wasn't really.
Basically like, you know, like a Netflix, like, must-watch thing. No, Xanthe found something. We're going to talk about dates, because obviously date chat is quite big in Morocco. In the UK, for like for like 250 grams of dates, about £5. But
Yeah.
like, obviously in Morocco,
Is that
cheaper than that.
Is that Majul dates?
Yeah, normally Majul dates, yeah.
Because I like so in the UK, I'd buy the Zamli dates and the Majul dates.
Yeah.
And those are the ones I was obsessed with. And I used to put like nut butter in and then cover them with chocolate, bit of sea salt, and put them in the fridge. I used to do that for the mamas all the time that I looked after.
Yeah.
So, and then when we came here, it's like date central. We drove through the Dra Valley.
Yes.
And
yes, the Dra Valley,
stunning scenery. And it's one of the main places for farming dates.
Yes.
So the amount of dates here is like a gift. But
and the variety.
is
So
a
we're
gift.
now like date experts.
Yes, but there's so much choice, and I think some of us sometimes we really love it, and then the dates, and then I like the soft ones, you like the chewy ones. This is where
To the
it's
point
at.
where literally when I last did my date shopping,
Yeah.
I literally got half a kilo of each. I was like, those ones, I like those chewy ones, I like those, but my wife won't like those. She wants the softer ones, like the smooshy ones.
Thing is what happens when I was saying this to somebody, it's when you go to a country that you then experience like their local food, and there's always like some kind of local delicacy that you get on board with, and then you just overdose on it. So like in Portugal it was the pastel de natas. I had so many pastel de natas that I basically was like, I can't look at one in the eye. I could go for one now though.
Oh yeah, you've had more
I've
bit
had
of
a
time.
break, but like the dates, so the children have overdosed on the dates. But then there was this moment for Xanthe and the children where they've now been royally put off dates. They won't eat them, not even if you cut them up for an energy ball.
So I'd bitten into a date and it had this black powder in it. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, is that just mold or something? Didn't think anything of it, just chucked it away. And then Paloma did the same thing. And as Paloma does, always forced me to look it up straight away.
Yeah.
Like, what is this date? And we looked it up and it turns out that it's some kind of bug poo. And so we're like, oh.
But we just kept eating them anyway.
Yeah. And we just
Not
kept...
that we said, oh, if you see the black powder, just don't eat it.
Yeah, we didn't think... We were like, oh,
Just
okay.
open it up before you eat it then check.
And then Xanthe bit into one and had this black powder. But then also in the date, there was a little maggot type creature.
Yeah.
And she freaked out. She was really upset. So, yeah.
To be fair, it did do that classic, like, wiggling it out thing.
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
I've told them that can happen in anything. Apples, cherries.
Absolutely.
But they just don't eat it now. And to be honest with you, that batch did really kind of...
Yeah, that was like, I think... Because it was weird, actually, because the box looked quite old as well.
It did.
I think I've been sold like a dodgy batch.
Well, because we buy a lot, we try to stick to the street sellers.
Yeah.
So you get what you're given.
Yeah, exactly.
But I've definitely not eaten as many since that. But, you know, there's so many dates. But the interesting thing is if you're in Morocco, you do have to be careful trying to make sure that you get local dates. And you can get them by like the kilo and you put them in your own bag. Those ones are definitely the local ones. The ones in the boxes, the Majul ones, they can be local, but they're not always, right? And then there was that brand that I loved, and then they were from Sri Lanka. No, they were from
Saudi
Arabia. Yeah, Saudi Arabia, and they were really good, but they weren't local.
But they weren't local, so I like should be having local, really.
And the price varies so much, and the price goes up during Ramadan because it's their treat after they fasted.
Yeah.
But there's so, like, I didn't realise two things that we didn't realise. We didn't realise that there were so many different types of dates. We didn't realise they grew on palm trees.
We literally didn't realise that, did we?
No, I had no. We were like, why are there loads of dates on this tree falling by the van?
I don't know. What did we think?
And the dog was like eating them. And we were like, how's she eating dates? Where are they? And you were picking them up off the floor.
Yeah.
And then we looked up and I was like, what? And then I said, do dates grow on trees? That's so bad.
That was the realisation. In my mind, palm trees, coconuts.
No, I know.
That's it. That's it. That's so bad, isn't it?
No, I honestly thought they just grew coconuts.
That's so basic.
But I don't know. Do they grow other things?
I don't know.
We should look
Obviously
that up.
dates.
No, I know, but now I'm like, do they grow other things?
Yeah. Is there like what is it?
I mean, look, if it's an English tree, then I can tell you about it, but I don't know much about palm trees.
Maybe I'll do like a home education session on palm trees and what different things.
Because there are loads of different types of palm trees.
Yeah, there must be.
But anyway, that is amazing. Like when you drove through the Dra Valley, and then you understood that dates grow on them. But you can see like the way that the dates grow on like those like, you know, I don't know what you call them, the prongs that come out, and then they hang off all the dates. And now whenever I see like a tree with dates, I'm sad I didn't bring a little extendable ladder because I had one for the attic.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Anyway,
anyway, that's date chat anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so
what was next?
So going through the Dra Valley, that's when we came out of Zagora. Now Zagora, and I don't know if it's, you know, anyone who's done van life in Morocco, you say the place Zagora to them, they may well say to you garages, mechanics. So it's
but I will say that I've seen a lot of chat in that Van Life Morocco Facebook group where they thought it was just cute.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, this is a cute thing that garages do.
To put it into context, so when you go into this place Zagora, which is like a sort of quite a big, I don't know, it may be a city, I'm not sure, but it's certainly
it's a town.
Yeah, it's certainly a big town.
Yeah.
Like a really busy town. When you drive in and you're in your motorhome, what happens is that you get mechanics, we had one in a Jeep, or you get them on mopeds or, you know, like motorbikes.
Not just driving in, like we were a good 15 minutes outside when we got pulled over by one.
It was weird. And basically, and they're mechanics, not necessarily the mechanics, obviously, but they're like people working for the mechanics trying to get business.
You say they're not the mechanics, but some of them had a mechanical outfit.
I know, but I think they're just donning the outfit just so to make them look profesh. Because otherwise, you wouldn't be like some bloke in his shorts, like, and
well,
you wouldn't
might be lacking vans today. Off you go.
Maybe.
Because maybe.
No, I'm saying the people who are getting the business for them. They're saying get the overalls on because then you look like a mechanic.
All I'll say is this: you don't go to the guys that are chasing you on the motorbikes.
No.
It's a good top tip.
Yeah.
But like I spoke to this one guy and he was like, oh, and then I was driving and then he pulled over and said, you need service? And my service light had come on and I was like, oh my God, yeah, I do. And then he was so happy with the service that he received and the price and the meal and all of that. And I'm sure it all sounded great, but all I'll say is I personally wouldn't go to any of those. No.
And and like you said, there was a lot of chat in the van life groups about some people saying, oh, you know, it's just the way they do their marketing.
No, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
They're pulling you over. Like we had at one point when we went back to Zagora for the second time, I think it was, because Zagora is the main place you pass through if you go to Mohammed or if you're going to go down that way to Mazuga. And then there was another camper in front of us. Was it another Vario? But an older Vario. What was it? Oh, yes,
it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and so then he obviously was like, I'm going for them.
Yeah.
And so he kept driving behind us really close to me and then he cut in front of me in between and then was going around them they try to like get you through the window when they're driving. And in the van life group, obviously the problem is that people like don't understand how problematic that is and how dangerous that is. And there is a guy in that group explaining it who has seen how they and then we learnt more about it, didn't we? We went to the garage that we chose, that we didn't, like when we ignored everybody else. The guy said that they'd done work on this 4x4, took the 4x4 that they'd done the work on that belonged to somebody else. Then when they were doing the whole like come to our garage thing, they had a massive collision and wrote off that car.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not cute. And I think if everybody just didn't react to it, if everybody stopped reacting to it, I don't think they would do it anymore.
No.
You know, because they keep saying have a photo. That's what they say.
They would. a lot of times also, they have like maybe their Instagram account and they want like a photo of like a cool van.
Yes, by the garage.
In their garage, yeah.
Yeah, but that's made me wary now because obviously I saw like garages online. I was looking them up and they had like Varios outside. And I thought, oh, that's legit. They're doing work on the Varios. Little fuckers are just getting them to the photo. They might not even be doing the work on that. That's not cool. So none of it is cool. None of it is cool, but there's loads of garages and we went to...
So basically, if you're in Zagora, we believe the main one to go to is Ali Nasir.
Yeah, only go to him. He doesn't chase you on motorbikes.
So he came recommended by a guy who's local and has Jeeps and sends his Jeeps to Ali.
Yeah.
And when we were there, we saw other people who were sort of working as part of the rallies.
Yeah.
And obviously they were would have been mechanically minded themselves, but also they were taking their sort of validation vehicles to Ali as well.
Yeah.
So that kind of gave us the peace of mind. Oh, okay, this is the guy to bring our vehicle to.
Yeah, I mean, and he did honour everything that happened within, because I would definitely go back to him.
Oh yeah,
100%. It was just that what we were going with. Sure, are we going to go into what happened?
Well, that I was going to say to you. I mean, is it a dull story? I don't know.
It's quite okay.
We could try and get through it.
Let's it. Driving the van,
it
was pulling to one side. I said to Ali, I think the rods need sorting.
Yeah.
I'd been like back in the day when I had a little car, trying to like align wheels is not always great. In the UK, they're shit. I remember like a quick fit style was like, because you want to drive the steering wheel with it's straight and know that the wheels are going straight. And I remember they did like a wheel change for me, and then when I went back I said, look, the alignment's not right with the steering wheel, and they're like, this is just how it is, tough, And I said to you that getting it straight again, this is going to be really fucking tough, because I couldn't even get that to work out in the UK. And I know that specialists exist, but I mean, we're in Morocco, blah blah blah. So we thought, okay, reluctantly, I mean, I also have smashed the back light, not the light bulbs, but the little plastic thing. That's what I really should need to sort out, but I haven't done that. So I was like, reluctantly, I was like, all right, let's just, and then I was driving it and my arm was aching because I was trying to rectify it, and it really was pulling. So I was like, okay, we're outside Zagora, we know the garage that we're supposed to use, let's just go. But then when they did it, they struggled to get the bolt off. So they were smacking the fuck out of it underneath. They did it a couple of times, didn't drive straight. Took it for test drive, still didn't drive straight. And then with the steering wheel now. And then they proper whacked it underneath, and I was like freaking out. And then they didn't speak good English, and then a guy was trying to translate for us, and then the translation was, you need a whole new ABS situation, which then we were freaking out.
Yeah, suddenly started talking about like the power steering
and
system.
I was like, look, this is a lost in translation situation. I know I'm not a mechanic, but I do know enough to know that this is just a rod situation, and now the alignment is off with the steering wheel, and that just needs rectifying. Like, this isn't an ABS issue. There's nothing wrong with our fucking ABS. Like what the fuck are you on about? And then he said, you come to another garage. So then we followed them to another garage on their motorbike, and it was a proper alignment place and a wheel place.
Yes.
Then this guy was like, I'm going to swap your wheels. I was like, no, you're not dealing with an HGV wheels, because I know that they need tightening again after a few thousand miles. And I was like, I don't have the capacity to deal with that. And we've only just changed the tyres. This is not a tyre issue. My steering wheel is now 90 degrees from what the wheels are driving.
The first garage, Ali's garage, he actually made it worse. Before he sent us to the specialist,
he did make it worse.
They did make it worse.
Well, they made the alignment worse, but it drove like, I don't know. I don't really understand it enough. It was driving. It wasn't pulling as much anymore. Yeah. It's just that the steering wheel wasn't in alignment with the wheels. So that's the problem.
We eventually managed to, it was a lot of like
trying
to
I ended up having a meltdown.
Guy.
Now, the Moroccans do not appreciate women having a meltdown.
Yeah.
So he was saying to me in the end, when I stopped him from taking the wheels off, because he was going to swap the wheels around, he just said, saying like, swap it around and then sub on. And I was like, no. It's good. Don't change the fucking wheels round. And then I don't think he understood. So then when he checked again, he said, beaucoup de travail, so too much work to sort it out. Basically, Ali's garage had they'd overdone it. Yeah. And then he was like, I just take the steering wheel off. And by then I was like hyperventilating. And he was like, just take the steering wheel off. I was like, I don't think you should just take the steering wheel off. What the fuck does that mean? Just take the steering wheel off. He's like, it's just one bolt. I take off. Sebon. I was like, well, you said Sebon a minute ago when we were trying to change the wheels, and that wasn't going to be good. And then I was like, and then I was like real time AIing ChatGPT it, because I was like, please, and then we all know that AI and ChatGPT, you know, you have to take it. But like, I cross-referenced it, like I Google it, I check, and then I'm like trying to do this in real time. And ChatGPT was like, don't let him take the steering wheel off. I was like, oh my God, don't take the steering wheel off. And then in the end, I just had to assess the situation and be like, I'm going to have to just relent because the Moroccans know varios.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to just be like, whatever. Anyway, Arlo was sitting there watching, wasn't he? He was like fascinated.
Yeah.
And then the steering wheel wouldn't come off. So he was like fucking bashing it.
Yeah, it was banging the steering wheel.
And like really banging the steering wheel. And I was like, oh my
Quite
God.
dramatic.
And then anyway, it came off, put it back on, and then it was straight.
Yeah. Literally, he did it. We did a couple of test runs and
And it was great. He made it. He was like, he wanted it to be like perfect. So we did a couple of rides, avoiding the police on the roundabout.
The guy was absolutely fine and obviously very good at what he does.
Yeah, but it didn't feel it at the time.
It just didn't feel like that. We were like a bit sort of panicky
because we literally just took it to Ali, and then it just sort of escalated. But then when we went back, he said, we were like, we'll pay you. And then he said, no, go back to Ali and pay him. And we're like, okay. So we went back, and then he said originally it'd be 200 dirham, which is like £18, 20 euros. And then we were like, oh, fair anyway. But then when we went back, because he knew what had happened, and that's how you know, know like that this is a good garage. He was like, just pay me 100 dirham.
Yeah, he knew that. That's the thing. Yeah, he knew he'd mucked us out about a bit and sent us to another flipping garage.
But that was 2 hours, 100 dirham. Didn't get that quick fit in the UK. Do you know what I mean? So like, fucking hell, fair play. Anyway, it drives straight. So I'd use them again. We are thinking about getting a van service here, even though we really want to learn to do it ourselves. But we're thinking about that. So
we'll see. Because like we said, in the UK you don't see many Mercedes Varios, which is what we're in. But in Morocco,
there's loads.
Everywhere.
They know it. It's their bread and butter.
So yeah.
What was the next chat?
Oh, it was whether you want to get onto, as we're talking about Zagora, whether you want to get onto like Hammam, because you and the girls went for a Hammam.
Oh yeah.
Or because there's general shower chat as well.
Oh right.
Because that was another cliffhanger. Because we after the last podcast we were going to go for a shower at that campsite.
Which
with
campsite?
the solar powered showers. How did that go?
Well, it was. I got naked, got into the shower. It was so cold I couldn't actually hack it because it wasn't even hot outside. So then I came back fucking fuming because it wasn't the cheapest campsite in Morocco. Yeah. And then I had to have a backdoor shower, and obviously not ideal in Morocco, but I had my tits out, didn't I?
A backdoor shower. I mean, it kind of sounds like a euphemism. I always feel like it sounds like something a bit rude, like out of a Carry-On film.
Right, it's a backdoor shower.
Basically, we have our shower head at the back of the thing. You open the back door and then you just spray yourself.
No one saw me, but I had my pants on and I just did it. But then you went for a shower and you were like, I'm going to go for a cold shower.
I'm just going to have a cold shower because I'm absolutely filthy.
And then what?
And then mine was fine.
It's a joke.
But you know what I thought about? It's because women, blatantly the women were thinking about it more, and there were more women who had got in there before you, basically, I think.
No, but it was one tank of water.
You think it was the same tank?
With one solar panel. Nah. I don't understand how it can be.
That's tricky, man.
Anyway, you had a nice time.
Got very unlucky, didn't you?
Hammam. Well, yes, the girls and I went for a hammam, but I had a hammam in Marrakesh last year, and it was one of the most beautiful experiences because I tried to pick like a local one. But obviously it's Marrakesh, so they still had tourists there. And then I said to the girls, do you want to go for hammam? And I just think like it's so interesting because I say this a lot that the British women are so prude compared to like the American. Because I've been on retreats before with women, and everyone else is naked getting in the water, but not the British women. And I found it really interesting because the Moroccans are all covered up, right? But then the women are just in the hammams, like totally naked, like scrubbing each other down, just having conversations naked. That wouldn't happen in the UK. It just wouldn't happen. So I said to the girls, do you want to do it? Bearing in mind they've grown up in the UK so far, 7 years of UK, and that's, solidified what it is for their bodies. Well, even though, I've had these conversations with a lot of women, you can grow up in the most liberal household, but you might end up feeling still like you can't show your body or, insecurities as well. But they're 7, so they don't have those insecurities, but they do have a societal message that says don't get naked. Whereas Xanthe she's always been naked, and so
Xanthe's like very into it.
Yeah, whereas Paloma not so much. Anyway, so I said to Ali, there's in Zagora, there's a local hammam that I read a review on that someone has said that it was very truly local. And they didn't speak a single bit of English or French. So that was really nice as well. And then, anyway, we went in and we had none of the gear. So I was like, no, it's fine. We'll just do it ourselves. But then I was like, I don't have anything to do it with. So they were just like obviously thinking, oh, God, these like British woman with nothing, no idea. But I had one before. So I sort of thought that they might have something for sale that I could buy. But anyway, they didn't. So we went in and the girls... Paloma refused to take off her knickers, but then they were fascinated because this is what's so interesting, because I have a very slim physique. I have non-existent boobs, right? And these like beautiful Moroccan women with their breasts out, and the girls had never seen that in their lives. And Xanthe straight away was like, look at her big boobies to Paloma. And I was like, oh, this is such a gift for them to be able to witness a woman's body outside of what is like the societal typical way of witnessing a body. And then in the end I said to the women, can you come? And so I paid extra, and then they came and scrubbed all of us down. And you know, it's funny because people don't realize probably that in a hammam, the women that do the scrubbing down, they come in naked themselves, like true hammam. You know, this isn't the hammams that you see in the spas. This is true hammams. So they're there naked, scrubbing you down naked, and it's a really beautiful time for the women and their girls to be together in the hammams. So there was a woman with her little girl who she'd brought in her little doll, and she was sitting on the mat, and they'd been there before we were in there, and they were in there when we left, and they were, you know, scrubbing each other down. The little girl was scrubbing herself down, and it was just, I love the Moroccan women. I love the Moroccan women. I find the men very challenging at times in Morocco, and I just love the women. And when they're on their own and they're away from the, you know, the society that is like the men, I think. Yeah. They just have such a fun sense of humor, and like, you know, that they were saying shit about like me, but I just didn't care because they would like look at me and smile and like, not the same.
I've found that, you know, the general sort of almost like segregation. I mean, it's almost, I mean, it seems like quite a strong word to use, but it does seem like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is. And then
it's almost like they're different like worlds, like different planets, like. Yeah,
it really is. And you know, I said to one guy at the beginning of our journey in Morocco, I said, do the women fast? No, the women don't fast.
That was quite funny.
That was really funny.
And it's almost like,
I don't know what the women do.
It's almost like do they fast? I don't know, they might do.
And then he said they didn't fast. No, women, they don't fast.
And then every woman we've asked,
they fast.
They fast. They do fast.
I've asked every woman, and they're like, yes, of course, it's like, of course. I'm like,
did you ask Abdul? Oh, well, he doesn't have a bloody clue, does he?
Yeah, honestly.
He wouldn't know.
He's like, what do the women do? I don't know. And then I just find the fasting time hilarious because, you know, it's just like the women, it's like when you go to the carpets, you know, and the men are the face of it, and you don't see the women, and they're the ones like making you a tea, and like they're the ones doing the carpets, and they're the ones doing everything. And he's just standing there. And I'm like, so who makes the carpets? And he's like, the women. Yeah. Just the women.
Yeah.
You know? And then I'm like, did you ever try and make a carpet? This is such a Westerner's view. I'm like, did you ever try and make a carpet? No. The women.
Good God, no.
And I'm like, oh, right. I'm so, like, the culture is completely different, because we live in a culture where it's like, and I'm very heavily in like women's rights and utilizing the right terms for women, and how backwards it's going for women in the Western society. But then you come here and you witness the women. And they're, you know, I don't know what their opinions are and how they're feeling. And there definitely is movements in Morocco, in like the likes of Marrakesh and Casablanca, and, you know, the more Western areas of Morocco. But places like going to like Zagora with these women in the hammam, you know, it's just an honor to be in their presence and in their energy, you know. And the girls left, and they had like the most wonderful time, and they said they go back and they can't wait to go back to another one.
And you now have the stuff.
Nah, I bought the stuff, but actually this is what's so interesting, is because there's no hammams here in Agadir, but
yeah, in Tagazout I looked it up. They have a hammam.
It's not.
Commas,
it's not true hammam. And so that's what's so interesting, is that then the hammams are not in the more Western areas. So yeah, it was great. It was a really, really, I if anyone ever ever comes to Morocco or chooses to come to Morocco, I would just say try to find the most authentic hammam experience, and you do get fully naked. I'm talking full naked. So like I think for a lot of women that can feel overwhelming, but it was really beautiful.
I'm still questioning whether I want to.
They said to you
I
to
need
go.
it. I have so much dead skin that needs.
And Arlo could do with it.
Yeah, exactly. I have so much dead skin that needs scrubbing off.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, what does the bloke get naked?
Yeah,
because if I'm there and there's a bloke sort of with his,
you don't know how you mean a penis, darling.
Yeah, that.
What penis?
At eye level.
At eye level. Jesus fucking Christ.
Don't know.
All right.
Might be a bit much for the British person in me.
You think that's going to be... Well, you said you want to go to a nudist camp. You said you
true.
want to go to a nudist camp. So how are you going to...
It's just a bit more intimate though, isn't it? It's like in a more intimate setting. Always what I said about nudist beaches and nudist camps, I always said, I'm keen as long as there's other people doing it.
Well, they are. They're all naked in the hammam, so I don't understand what you mean.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit more of an intimate... I mean, we can delve into that.
Maybe
issues.
Maybe you have to have. Maybe it's like the podcast becomes this thing where you have to do something just for content.
Yeah, I probably will do it at one point. We'll run out of stuff to say.
All right.
Yeah. So I mean, that's probably enough in the can, isn't it?
Yeah, that's great. So we're just gonna hang around the beach more now, and we were gonna go to Mauritania and the Senegal, but we're not doing that because it's too hot, and I didn't realise how much money it would be at the Mauritania border. And so I've weighed up like the costs, the energy, and also I think I have to just give more compassion to how much it's taken to get to this point, and that we did a really great adventure and we've got so much more Morocco to explore yet. So we're gonna stick with Morocco rather than go southwestern Sahara.
Yeah.
And then if we come back, which we probably will, then we can do Western Sahara the next time. Another time, and enjoy more of Morocco, which we missed the north because of the weather, but the weather's picking up now.
Yeah,
you look very tanned. So
that's why I need a hammam just to because I'm like a lizard that needs to shed its skin. Really.
But
I'm a bit crispy.
Well, I think we're going to enjoy the sun for a bit longer and stay in Morocco. So we'll have more Morocco chat to come, I suppose. Then.
Yeah. Oh, I was thinking. So for the next podcast.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking kind of like a book club, because we did the Indistractable.
Yeah.
So this time it's going to be a book that I've read. And
you want to do that
talk
next?
To you about that. Maybe on the next one, we'll see if I can get my ducks in a row.
Okay.
In terms of like prepping that.
Okay.
Because I'm not as good as you. I need to be way more prepped than you can just like talk offhand.
No, but I did. I just took the chapter and I highlighted it online, so probably that was why. But yeah, you want to go through the whole book.
But I want to do. I want to talk about the ultra processed people book.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's old news, but some of you might have read it, some of you might not have read it. But I find it very, very interesting.
Well, that's an interesting book because it's in line with like how our diets went.
Yes.
And then also how we navigate the food in the van.
Yes, exactly. That's the thing. It ties in. It ties in with the date chat, and it ties in with all our general diet in the van and how it's kind of evolved as we've gone along. So yeah.
And maybe in the next chatty podcast, we could talk about my new competition level surfing that I'm doing.
Also, maybe dog.
Oh yeah, we've been dealing with a bit of a dog situation. Not our dog.
Yeah, a bit of a stray dog drama, which we're probably not quite at the end of yet, so it's not worth talking about it yet. But we'll maybe see what goes on with that, and we can maybe talk about that.
I never thought I'd get involved with a stray dog drama. I'm certainly,
we've got our own dog. She's sitting next to me, snoring away. But
yes. That and longboard and longboard chat that we've been recently doing. There's a lot of chat to come, actually. Yeah. Not that exciting, maybe.
We'll
always
always have plenty of chat.
All right, wonderful.
Cheers.
Nomestia.